Hello and welcome to Yoga Center of Chico. We are recording a series of short segments focusing on different aspects of yoga, asanas, meditation, pranayama. And today I'm going to do the second part of a series I'm calling Standing and Balancing. And this is going to be focused on balance. So if you're practicing yoga, you know that one of the most important tenets of yoga is balance. Everything we do in yoga is balance. And that's very different than other activities in our life. So most of the time we're very one-side dominant, and most sports you play, activities you engage in are one side or the other. For instance, if you're a tennis player, you're hitting with your right hand. If you're a baseball player, you're throwing almost always, you're using your right arm and hand. So we don't balance it out by throwing with our left hand. So we create a lot of imbalance in our life because we are one side dominant. So one thing I'd like to offer to you is something that I offer to a lot of my students, either at Chico State or here at the Yoga Center of Chico, is to begin to create more balance in your life off your mat, in your daily life. And a good way to do that is to start using your non-dominant side, your hand or your foot. If you're kicking things, use your non-dominant. So most of us are right-handed. That's just the way it is. But if you're left-handed, obviously use your right side. But I'm going to talk as if most of us are right-handed, as if you're right-handed. So start to do things like brush your teeth. Try eating. When you're walking towards a door, instead of reaching forward with your right hand, reach forward with your left hand to open the door. Just any little activity that you notice that you're by default going to your right hand, try doing it with your left hand. It'll be awkward at first, I can guarantee you that. But after, I would say give yourself at least a week and just try this out. And after a week, I can almost guarantee you're going to want to continue because it starts to feel really good. You start to really feel how imbalanced you are, and you start to feel more balanced and a little more ambidextrous if you're using both sides. And it feels good. It feels good to our body. It's more a natural way to be. Okay, so in our yoga practice, we focus specifically, there's a lot of things we do that require balance, but I'm going to focus on two very traditional, iconic yoga poses, Vrikshasana, which is tree pose, and Natarajasana, which is king dancer pose. But before we get into those classic poses, I just want to do sort of a generic balancing process that will prepare us for it. So all I want you to do is just shift your weight over to your left leg. Just do that. Just shift your weight over to your left leg and just feel how that, don't even lift your right foot. Just shift your weight over to your left leg. Notice how that feels. Good. Now just shift your weight over to your right leg. Don't even do anything with your left foot. Just shift your weight. So most of, let's say 80% of your weight's on your right leg right now. So that's basically what we're doing. We're balancing. We're just shifting the weight onto one leg or the other. Now, shift your weight to your left leg. Keep your arms at your side. Now I want you to do this. I want you to lift your foot off the floor. Maybe that's all you're able to do. Maybe you can lift your knee higher. Take it up here. Now see if you can do that. Without using your hands, just lift your knee to about waist level. Your right knee. Good. Now lower your right foot and notice how your left leg feels compared to your right leg right now. Probably grounded and heavy. Now shift over to your right leg and do that same thing. Now if all you can do is lift your left foot off the floor, just do that. If you can lift your knee higher and higher, maybe to waist level without using your hands, balancing on your right leg, feel that. Good. Now bring your left foot back to the floor. Now let's do it one more time. Now watch me do it actually. I'm going to shift over to my left leg. I'm going to lift my right knee. Now some of you will be able to grab your right knee, and if you've done that, you can draw it up. This is flexing your hip. You can flex your right foot as well. Stand very tall, focus your gaze, and focus on the balancing leg, your left leg. Okay, so let's just do that, and then we'll move on to the other two. So shift over to your left leg and foot, and we're going to get all of our weight on our left leg and foot. Your arms are at your side at this point. Now lift your right knee, flex your right hip, and this time just come to here, or maybe grab your knee and draw it up. Stand tall, but really focus on the leg you're on, your left leg. Is it stable? Is it wobbly? Are you grounded? Good. Now very slowly, bring your right foot back down. Take a big breath in neutral. Okay, now we're going to make the shift over to the right leg. So one side might be different than the other. Expect that. Now we're going to lift the left knee, flex the left hip, lift the knee, maybe grab the knee, maybe draw it up, flex your left foot, stand tall. Good. Now very slowly lower your left foot back to the floor. Good. Now that's just a basic sort of generic balancing pose. Doesn't really have a name, but it's a good way to start. And here's one other thing you can do. Maybe do it on your own. Well, let's do it together, some of you. Now just do whatever version of this last sequence that works well with you. Just lift your foot off the floor, lift your knee, grab your knee. And if that was all comfortable, one more thing you can do, you can use a block this time. Now you're going to stand on your block, you're going to lift your right leg, lift your right knee. You're on a block this time, so stakes are a little higher, and I'm going to lift my knee, but on a block this time. Good. Now if you've done that, we're going to slowly step off our block, come back to Tadasana. This is basic standing pose, mountain pose. Of course, we need to do the other side now, so bring your right foot to your block and do the same thing. Come on to your block, get on your right leg, lift your left knee, maybe grab your left knee, stand tall, focus your gaze. Beautiful. Come back to Tadasana. Good work. Okay, you should be feeling your legs already. All these balancing poses are a good way to create balance and strength and grounding. So if you want to feel more grounded, balancing poses. If you want to feel more balanced, balancing poses. Okay, so this is tree pose. In Sanskrit, Vrikshasana. It's maybe the most iconic, classic of all the balancing poses. Now watch me do it. I'm going to shift my left leg. I'm going to bring my right foot. Now you can bring your foot up just a little ways below the knee, not at the knee, or you can grab your ankle and pull your foot up into your inner thigh. Now the full pose is all the way up. So my knee's out to the side. I'm on my left leg. My arms are up. Okay, but we're going to start slowly. So a lot of you will want to have a chair to your left side. Or you can use a wall for this too. You can use a wall like this. Hand on the wall, hand on a chair. It'll be your left hand. So we're going to come onto our left leg. We're going to bring our right foot a little ways up our left leg, or pull our foot all the way up into our inner thigh. Now, probably have your hand on your chair. I want you to get your knee as lateral as you can. You're still oriented forward, but your knee's out to the side. Now if you need to use the chair, keep your hand on the chair or the wall and just lift your right arm up. Otherwise, I want you to do this. I want you to bring your hands in front of your chest like this. That's all we're going to do this time. Breathe, focus, and then step back to mountain pose. Good job. Close your eyes. Notice how you feel after the first. Notice the difference in your legs right now. Okay, I'm going to move the chair to the right. Now remember, you can use the wall too. You can have your hand on the wall or the chair. Okay, so let's do the other side of that. We're just going to do the basic position, just the legs. So bring your weight to your right leg. Now remember that your heel can be below your knee, or your foot can come way up into the inner thigh like this. Now get your knee out to as lateral as you can, so you're like this. That's all. Just do that. Now if you're holding onto your chair with your right arm, lift your left arm. Now at some point you might be able to take your right fingers off the chair. Now if you're not using the chair, we're just going to bring our hands in front of our chest. Stand tall like you're in mountain pose. Focus your gaze. And then step back to mountain pose. Good job. Check in for a moment. Now let's do the whole thing this time. So whatever part of this feels workable for you. So remember, just keep your hand on the chair through it all if you need to. That way you'll establish strength in your leg and you'll be able to take it further eventually. If you try to get into a pose when you're not ready, a balancing pose, then you're just going to wobble and you're not going to get the benefit you need to be getting. Okay, so get onto your left leg and foot. Bring your right foot part way or all the way up into your inner thigh. Let's all do that. Now hand on your chair or hands in front of your chest. Okay, now right arm up, left hand on the chair, or this time both arms up. So you're reaching to the ceiling, your knees coming out to the side, your gaze is focused, you're breathing. Reaching, grounding, hands together, hands in front of your heart. And let's step back to mountain pose. Close your eyes, take a big breath, notice how you feel after the first side. Good job. If you're using a chair, shift it to the right. Everybody shift onto your right leg and foot. We're going to bring the left foot up the inner right leg again. You can be below the knee or grab the ankle and pull it above the knee. Now, remember that you want to get your knee out to the side. You want to orient your hips and spine straight ahead. You want to extend your spine. And then again, hold onto your chair and lift your left arm if you need to. That's perfectly fine. Do that, or bring your hands together in front of your chest. Keep them there, or try lifting them. Try lifting your arms, reaching to the ceiling, opening up, expanding, gaze focused, breathing, shoulder blades down your back. Hands come together, hands in front of chest, and we step back to Tadasana. Good job. Close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths. Notice what you feel. So this is a great pose for balancing and then really working on our hip flexors, our quadriceps and our psoas. Let me do it sideways, and I'll just go through it. Now what I like to do is I like to turn my palm out like this, rather than, I'm going to grab my right ankle. So I'm going to come onto my left leg, I'm going to grab my right ankle like this. I like to do it from the inside. That opens my shoulder and chest properly. Now from here, I'm on my left leg, I've grabbed my right ankle or foot, my left arm is up. Now this might be all you want to do. Otherwise, you can bring your left arm forward and your right knee back. Now some of you might bring your hand down to your chair or use the wall. So here's Natarajasana. Now when you come out of it, don't just fall out of it. Lower your knee and lift your arm. Bring your arm down, bring your foot down, and return to mountain pose. So here's another instance of you're able to use the wall or chair. Now I'm going to turn my back to you and use the wall by placing my hand on the wall and taking my thigh back like this. Now the chair's a little low for this, but it'll work. You can grab your ankle, hold onto the chair, and take your thigh back like this. Okay, in any case, you want as much as possible be balancing on your left leg. So if you need the chair, have it in front of you. If you have something else that's a little higher than the chair, put it out in front of you. Otherwise, maybe you'll use a wall. Some of you will do it freestanding. So we're going to shift to our left leg. We're going to turn our right palm out. We're going to bring our right heel up by flexing our right knee. Now I'm grabbing my ankle from the inside. You can grab it from the outside. Now from this position, lift your left arm straight up. Focus your gaze. Now the last step is to either bring your left hand to the chair or a wall, or just extend it forward as you lift your thigh back, your gaze forward. Breathe. Good. Now lower your right knee, lift your left arm, bring your left arm down. Let's come back to mountain pose. Close your eyes. Feel the power of that pose. Notice the imbalance after the first side. Okay, let's do the second side. So right foot forward, left foot back. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to move the chair forward. Remember, you can use the wall. So left foot forward, right foot back. Mountain pose to begin. I'm turning my left palm out. I'm lifting my left heel, grabbing my left ankle, raising my right arm. Now here's a good place to just stay in balance on your right leg. Otherwise, you're taking your thigh back, you're bringing your arm forward, freestanding with your knee extended, or your hand to your chair or a wall. So do your version of it. Try to expand to your edge, keep lifting, and then lower your knee and lift your arm. Lower your arm, lower your foot, and we're back to mountain pose. Good work. That's King Dancer pose, Natarajasana. Now a couple things to keep in mind when we're balancing. Let's go back to tree pose. Is that you want your femur to be on top of your tibia. So if your knee is bent at all, that's not going to happen to the degree we want it. If your knee is extended, your femur is sitting right on top of the tibia and you're using your bones rather than muscle energy to do the pose like tree pose. And same thing with Natarajasana. You want that grounded leg, the knee remains extended. It doesn't bend. You're going to lose a lot of energy that way and a lot of support. So my knee's extended, my femur's on my tibia, and then I can do it properly. Remember that. This grounded leg needs to be very stable and strong. So that's a small example to the iconic classic standing balancing poses. There are a lot more balancing poses, but those two, I guarantee you, if you practice them regularly, you'll create a lot more balance in your life. And remember to take balancing off your mat into your life. Start using your non-dominant side in any activity that feels like it's possible. Okay, well, thank you for being here, and we hope to see you for standing balancing number 3 and 4. Thank you.